Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode. Today I wanted to talk about the Overlord Growth Handbook. This is basically a pass, a monthly pass that pops up when you unlock the Overlord. And I wanted to test this out. So on the stream last night, I picked up this pack. We did some upgrades to the Gorilla to see if this really makes much of an impact, if at all, when you pick this up and then upgrade your Gorilla with it. So taking a look at it, you'll see you get 21,000 Overlord skill badges. And then you get 130 Overlord shards. And this is interesting because if you look at the Gorilla, and we'll take a look here in a second, you need 200 to go from level 2 to level 3. And every level, once you get to level 10 on your skills, is going to use at least 21,000 skill badges. So the question is, for $25, is this pass worth it? So before I can really talk a lot about the pass, I gotta explain a little bit about the Gorilla and the timing of this and why this pass doesn't quite fit. And when you're upgrading the Gorilla and you're unlocking it, typically you're gonna have the battle pass, the monthly battle pass, or I guess if you want to consider this like a weekly battle pass because it's just, for the week. So when you pick this up, you can get the Overlord, the guidebooks, and then you also get the training certificates and the bond badges. So this doesn't include the Overlord shards and the skill shards, which is what is in the other pack. So this comes around once a month. You pick these up. That pass allows you to come in here and do the training, and the training gives fixed stats to both the Overlord and your heroes. So in here, you're going to get not only a ton of stats for your Gorilla, this is where you're going to really get an increase in your stats for your heroes. And that's why I like this part of the Gorilla the most. So as far as overall power, you're going to get a lot out of this here, where all this stuff here mostly only impacts the Gorilla. There are a few skills that do affect your team, but overall, this is mostly for the Gorilla. And like I was saying, when this first comes out, you're going to be getting the battle pass, and there's going to be all kinds of other things that you can pick up, and you're going to be leveling this thing up, and you're probably going to have enough to get a few of these levels up here. So as you can see, it's going to take me 40 of these universal shards to get one little level on my way up to getting this up to level 4. So it's technically level 30, but then the actual promotion level is level 4. So it's kind of weird how they did this. So when you unlock it, it's already level 1, then you go to level 2, level 3, and so on. So from 1 to 2, it takes 100 of these promotion shards. Where if you're going from 2 to 3, it's going to take you 200. So the fact that pass has 130 puts it in a weird spot. If you're unlocking the Gorilla day 1, it could be useful. It could be very useful. However, you have to wait a month to get everything. It's not like you get everything at once. You're getting it over a month. So technically, over the course of a month, when you finally get everything, you probably already have your Gorilla to level 2 in here in this promotion, if not maybe level 3. So then the value of that pass drops. And then looking at the skills here, as you can see, when you level these up, I'm looking at about 15. This one's, 20,000. This one's 13,000. So these are very expensive. They level up very similar to your skills for your heroes. So if you think about that, and you're getting 21,000, if you get 21,000 skill medals for your heroes, that's not going to go very far, especially if you're later on and you're upgrading from, say, 20 to 30. You're not going to get as much of a return as you would if you were upgrading fresh and you were going from level 1 to level 10. You can do a ton of upgrades for 21,000 skill medals. Later on, not so much. So the value certainly drops off on that. And that's why I'm saying it's kind of a weird timing that they bring that out and it's a month long to collect everything. And you're already going to be putting some levels into these. So when you actually get all the skill medals, it's not going to be as useful because you're only going to get maybe like 1 or 2 levels out of it. However, the biggest comparison that you can use is the weekly deal. For $50, you're going to get 40 of these Universal Overlord shards, and you're going to get 8 of these Overlord skill badges. So for half the price, you're getting 3 times the Overlord shards, and you're getting about almost 3 times the Overlord skill badges in there. So for half the price, you're getting 3 times more. From that perspective, yes, it is totally worth it. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of, I'm working on the gorilla, I don't have them unlocked yet, I'm picking up the weekly pass, I'm getting the training certificates and that sort of thing, I don't believe this pass is worth it to you. If you are somebody that is going to be unlocking the gorilla day 1 and you're trying to push and you're trying to get everything out of this you can, and you don't want to be spending $50 for a fraction of the value, then yeah, this is worth picking it up. If you're trying to maximize the gorilla and trying to find the ways to do that, or the most efficient ways to do it, this is probably going to be it. And last night I ran some comparisons. I did a couple different hits on the world boss and then the elite instructor just to compare what it looked like before I did upgrades and then after. So before I did upgrades, the gorilla was doing about 46.5 million to the world boss. And that was at level 2. So keep in mind, at level 2, it takes you 200 shards to get to level 3. So I took it about halfway. So I used about the same amount of shards I would have. And I got a little bit of an increase. I went up to 52.9. So a little bit of an increase. But then I leveled it up to level 3. And that is where you notice a huge jump. So not to say the gorilla is going to get a decent amount of damage every time you promote it, but when the promotion happens, you also get a new skill. So that's what happened here. I got a new skill, and that's why the damage also increased, not just from the fixed stat increase, but also the skill increase, or the new skill that the gorilla got. So it does help you get to that next level. And like I said, if you just unlocked it, yes, you're going to have a little more to help promote your gorilla if you are able to equip them. You're not going to be able to do this right away, and it's only worth it if you're equipping them. Otherwise, that has no value. And if you look at the elite instructor, when I hit this, the gorilla did 784, almost 785,000, and took 9.8 million damage. And that's kind of his big thing, as absorbing damage. So after I leveled him up all the way, this time he did 1.2 million damage, and he absorbed 1.4 million damage. So he did a decent amount of damage, or he had a decent amount increase to his damage, but he didn't take as much damage. He didn't absorb as much damage on these hits. So overall, it is a big increase, but nothing significant for what you're getting out of it. So to recap, do I think this pass is worth it? Yes, only in the scenarios where you are trying to upgrade the gorilla, max this thing out, and you're trying to be very efficient in how you do it. Otherwise, if you're on a very tight budget, you don't really care so much about how much damage your gorilla does. You're just looking to get the weekly pass, upgrade its abilities, or do the training so it increases your heroes. Well, then this is certainly not something you should be picking up. I wouldn't worry about this until maybe later on. It's not like it's going to go anywhere. So you always have time to pick it up later. Don't worry about it if you don't pick it up right away. And that's it. Let me know if you guys have any questions, what your thoughts are about this, if you picked this up, what you think, if it's worth the value or not. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a great day.